Have you ever stared across the water at night and felt something watching you? Not an animal, not a person, but something else, something not from here. In 1983, off the quiet Yorkshire coast of England, a seasoned fisherman experienced something so horrifying, so unexplainable, that it changed the course of his entire life. He never went back to sea. He rarely spoke again. And when he did, he spoke of lights, voices, and a place with no corners. But here's the kicker, he wasn't the only one. This is not your average alien encounter story. This is the chilling case of Jackie Newhouse, and what he saw on that misty night might just convince you that we are not alone. So before we dive in, I have to ask, do you believe in aliens? Alien. Comment below yes or no, and let's see who the believers are. Setting the scene, Staithes, England. Let's go back to the early 80s.
No smartphones. No drones.
No internet to debunk or document what you saw. Just a man, a boat, and the endless, silent sea. Staithes is a tiny fishing village nestled between the cliffs of North Yorkshire. It's picturesque, almost frozen in time. Red-roofed cottages, fog rolling in from the sea, and the kind of quiet that makes your thoughts louder. Jackie Newhouse was a lifelong fisherman, born and raised in Staithes. Described by locals as a no-nonsense bloke, he wasn't one for tall tales. He was tough, dependable, with hands like rope and eyes like the sea, deep and unreadable. On June 14, 1983, Jackie set out alone around 8 p.m. for a standard night run. His boat, a small trawler named the Marlin. Routine stuff, he was expected back by dawn. But what came back wasn't just the Marlin. It was the beginning of one of Britain's most baffling and overlooked UFO cases. The first signs, lights over the water. Around 11:48 p.m., a local dock worker named Tom Radley, who was doing routine maintenance, picked up a strange radio transmission. Lights, over the water. They're not planes. They're wrong. Then static. Tom tried to reply. No answer. Then suddenly, the lights went out at the dock for exactly 47 seconds. Not uncommon, sure, maybe a blown fuse, but right after Jackie's message? Coincidence? Or a signal? And here's where it gets creepier. Two other fishermen that night, anchored further down the coast, later reported a brilliant white light hovering low over the sea around the same time. One even said, "It lit the water like the sun, but we couldn't hear a thing. No engine hum, no wind, just silence." The return, a man changed. At around 3:42 a.m., the Marlin returned to port, several hours later than expected. Jackie stepped off his boat, soaking wet despite clear weather. Not drenched by waves, just wet, head to toe, like he'd been inside a steam room. He didn't speak, didn't even tie up the boat properly. He just walked, past the pub, past the chapel, straight home. According to his neighbor, Mrs. Cartwright, he looked vacant, like something had crawled inside him and hollowed him out. The next morning, Jackie's wife, Mary, told friends that he refused to talk about what happened. He locked himself in the shed. When he finally came out, he had drawings. Dozens of them. Circles within circles. Beams of light. And most disturbingly, a humanoid figure with no face, just black ovals for eyes. The drawings, the symbols, and the whispers. Let's pause here. Jackie's drawings weren't just idle scribbles. When shown to Dr. Helen Marsh, a retired linguist with ties to the UK MOD, Ministry of Defense, she claimed they closely resembled glyphs found in ancient cave art in France and early Sumerian carvings. What's more, one symbol Jackie drew appeared in multiple alien abduction reports from Brazil, Canada, and even New Mexico. This with a dot in the center and 3 smaller dots underneath. Now ask yourself, how would a Yorkshire fisherman with no access to UFO literature draw a symbol consistent across global encounters? Unless he saw it with his own eyes. Physical symptoms and psychological change. Within a week, Jackie developed a sensitivity to fluorescent lights. He wore sunglasses indoors, claimed they gave him migraines and caused the voices to return. Yes, voices. He confided in his son, Mark, that he heard whispers when he closed his eyes. as if a group of people were talking in a language he couldn't understand, but still somehow knew. He became deeply paranoid, covered mirrors, refused to eat fish, and most bizarrely, he insisted his blood was different now. His GP ran blood work. White blood cell count elevated. Sleep cycle fractured. The doctor wrote in his notes, symptoms consistent with trauma. Or something else. Let that sink in. Government involvement? RAF radar blips. Let's now talk military silence. A decade after Jackie's encounter, in 1993, a former RAF radar tech named Simon Kellner gave an anonymous interview to a fringe UFO publication. He claimed that on June 14, 1983, several non-aircraft objects were detected 9 miles off the Yorkshire coast, moving in nonlinear patterns, jumping altitudes in seconds. These were not Soviet, not experimental jets, and they vanished from radar just as Jackie's radio cut out. Kellner said the data was seized by MOD agents the next morning and never spoken of again. So what were they hiding? Were these craft observing us? Or testing us? Other cases, same patterns. Here's what chills me the most. Jackie's case isn't unique. In 1980, police officer Alan Godfrey in nearby Todmorden reported a similar abduction. Missing time, lights, sketches of alien beings. In 1977, fishermen in Brazil experienced light beams that left burns on their skin. In 2004, a trawler crew in Japan claimed their compasses spun uncontrollably and their radios cut out, just before a UFO appeared above the water. Same symptoms, same fear, same silence. It's like someone or something is sampling us, watching, mapping. And what if Jackie wasn't just an accident, but a test subject? What really happened? Hypotheses and speculation. So what really happened that night? Here are 3 possibilities. 1. Alien contact. Jackie was abducted, examined, and sent back, changed. Like many abductees, he experienced psychological trauma, memory gaps, and downloads of strange symbols. 2. Secret military tech. Was Jackie a witness to a classified experiment? Could the lights and the silence have been from black-budget tech? But then, why the voices? The symbols? 3. Interdimensional phenomenon. What if this wasn't extraterrestrial, but ultra-terrestrial? A glimpse into a parallel reality? A thin place where our world briefly overlapped with another? Your turn. What do you think happened to Jackie? Type alien, military, or dimensional in the comments. I'll be reading them all. Jackie Newhouse passed away in 2001. He never gave a public interview, never fished again, and never explained what happened on that boat. But the drawings, the whispers, the lights, they live on. Maybe if you found this story as chilling as I did, hit that like button, subscribe,